Hey, up guys, in this video I'm going to be compressing something and sort of bringing you through my thought process and why I'm going about things. And in no way is this like the industry standard and the right way to do it, but it's the way I do it, and you know, some people are interested in what I do and how I do it, so why not make a video about it. Alright, so we have our loop here. Just a percussive loop. I can't talk this morning. And I want to make it a bit more exciting, so I'm going to drop in a dynamics. So basically, if you want to, if you're really kind of struggling with compression, you basically have to look at a few things, right? That's really important. A threshold, attack release, and a ratio. And then once you're kind of advanced with that, the knee. Cats. So when the ratio is 0 to 0, that means there's no compression going on, right? So you can, rest assured when it's 0 or 1 to 1. Right, nothing is going on. No gain reduction, no nothing. With that being said, compression is just gain reduction. You're just reducing the volume. So the threshold is one of the big knobs. So what does that mean? That means that it's kind of important. Threshold dictates. So I'm gonna bring this up to, let's just bring that up to a fair amount. The threshold dictates when the compressor is engaged. So how loud does something have to be before we reduce the volume? So I'll show you. Right, so we have our little signal here. So once it gets above a certain designated amplitude, let's say above here, that's when the compressor will compress. That's when it'll engage. That's what I call the detection circuit, because that's what they're called in the hardware. It detects the volume and then it'll bring the volume down, kind of like, you turning up and down the volume on your TV when the music gets too loud on your DVD. That's kind of what's going on here, right? So what we'll do is I will show you when you bring the threshold down, right? It's getting quieter, right? And you can see this blue guy here. That is the amount of gain reduction. It's volume reduction, right? And that's basically all you do, really. The knee is how fast the compressor, how reactive the compressor is. So like a slow, so like a hard knee. This is a hard knee. A hard knee would be something like very reactive. It's very slam down. And a soft knee would be like not so reactive, very smooth with its curves, like a woman or a man, whatever you're into. And that's generally what you do for your detection circuit. So what we want to do is we want to shape the way the compressor triggers, or we want to shape the way the compressor acts once it's triggered, right? And you do that with an attack and release. So start out here. What are you detecting? And then what's the character like? All right, that make any sense? So I'm going to do this at an extreme kind of value here, right? So we have our blue guy here. So we have to adjust the release because if the compressor is not releasing, the release means how long it takes for the volume to go back to where it was. So we have a very long release. You'll notice the blue guy here. It takes a long time to go back up. Right? It's a very slow release, like 2 seconds. Why would you want a very slow release? Well, something that you want like a very smooth compression, just to kind of ride the audio. Maybe like a vocal or like a string section or something really smooth. You want to compress, but you don't want it to sound compressed. You want it to just be kind of smooth, right? So a slow release dictates how long it takes for it to go back to normal. With a fast release, you can see, I don't know if you can see this on YouTube, but it's just releasing extremely quickly. It's going back to normal. So if you have a very slow release, it takes a while for the sound to get back to normal. So that's like, the feature music style, Sonny James and whatnot. If you have a very slow release, it doesn't really work out. But if you have a very fast release, you get like distortion. I'll turn this up. Right? You might not want that, so you have to find the kind of sweet spot. So when the compressor is activated here, you want it to be fully released when it gets to the next sound, or the next kind of transient here. You don't want it to be like halfway down and then get triggered again. You're just kind of kicking it when it's down, and that's not good. So finding the sweet spot of the release in the attack is very important. So the release will dictate when the compressor kind of goes back to normal. And you can see that visually with the gain reduction, and it's pretty easy to hear once you get used to it. Right, so you can see it and you can hear it. Right, that's too much. That's just about right. That's the Goldilocks zone, and that's what you're looking for. So the attack, what does the attack do? Well, the attack triggers when the threshold goes above the amplitude, or the amplitude goes, when the threshold is engaged, your detection circuit is engaged, the attack dictates how long it takes for the compressor to act. And you can get down right to the 0.01 milliseconds all the way to like 316 milliseconds. Right, so if we have a very fast attack, and I'm using extreme kind of compression here just so we can see, right, we have very pokey. So we have our gain reduction. I should go over here really quickly. We have our input and our output here, and I'm just increasing the output so our input and output matches. Right, so you can hear that. So our attack, what does that mean? Well, the attack preserves the transients, and you'll be able to see that and hear that. Listen to this. Right, these little lines here. See them? When we increase the attack, you'll notice that more of those peaks are coming through. Dim peaks, right? And you can shape it even more with like a slower release and even more compression. We'll turn down the output. What I'm doing is I'm doing makeup gain, so output and makeup is the same kind of way here. There's automatic makeup gain if you really want to squish the heck out of stuff. Right, so we've kind of drastically changed the sound, the character of it, simply with volume or amplitude. And it's all with the compressor here. So the ratio dictates like how much like squishy it is. Sorry about that. And the knee is the amount of like how hard you want the compression. So like a soft knee is for like vocals and stuff like that. Right. And that's basically it for that. And there is upwards compression, which acts on a different principle, which I should do for another video. But yeah, there's a few ways to go about it. There's a 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 8-to-1, and then 10-to-1, and then infinity. So 10-to-1 around there for the ratio would be for like rock drums and stuff like that. And the output should match. And you notice what the compressor does is, okay, so in Bitwig you have that top part in the readout, that's the peak, and then the RMS or the average is the kind of colored bar there. So what we have is we have the same peak, but the RMS is a little bit lower, which is useful for headroom. Right, so we have something that's about as loud, but not as much, like it's more dynamic, but it's not as like loud perceivably as an average in RMS. Right, and you can do all sorts of fun things. You can gate it and whatnot. But yeah, I've been talking for 10 minutes. Maybe I'll do more videos like this. I don't know. I just wanted to just chat maybe because maybe I can go back to the old way I was doing videos and just chill, and because we never get to hang out. Alright, hope I explained that okay. I didn't want to confuse people with confusing language, beginners and such. But yeah, hope you learn stuff, and take care.